Hey, welcome back to another Jedi Academy. Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday, it's 10 a.m., which means it's time to drink large copious amounts of caffeine, coffee, soda, orange juice, have a nice breakfast, and get all your Star Wars Galaxy of I can't talk all of a sudden. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes questions answered. That's what this is. This is a Q&A show where we bring the best and brightest of YouTubers and game changers and sprinkle in a little mental damage of RSG, and you've got yourself a winning combination. So let's introduce everybody that'll be here today, and we'll start off with our regulars. We'll start all the way from across the pond. We've got the one and only Mr. Mike Hunt.
Well, hello there.
Hello there. Also joining us from up north, adding to the international flavors, the one and only maple syrup lover herself, T Money G.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, T Money. How's it going?
It's going really well. How are you?
That's right. Y'all had a really good Angel stream last night.
We did. It was so fun.
It was full of unicorns and leprechauns and maple syrup and all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
All right,
leprechauns?
I made up that part. But the maple syrup and unicorns did happen.
Almost got by me.
Yeah, I was trying to over-exaggerate it a little bit, but there were no leprechauns, just unicorns and lots of maple syrup. All right, also join us. You know him, you love him. I mean, you know who this is. It's the one and only Warrior from Warrior Presents.
What's happening, y'all?
Oh, konnichiwa. Warrior's on his way to work as we speak.
No, I'm actually not, but I do work today.
Oh. You get to start a little bit later?
Yeah, I work at noon today till 9 o'clock at night, so I have this morning to sit around.
Oh, he's going to drink coffee and join us. Guten Tag.
Yeah.
Let's see. And also joining us, of course, Finity's here. Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, but nobody cares. Hi, Dr. Finn.
Hi.
What's it like not being a big deal?
Normal.
Okay. And last but not least, we are very happy to have him back. He was serving our country in Korea, but now he's stateside in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. The one and only King Felix is back. Yay!
Yeah, applause.
Yay!
Ben, just so you know, it's nice being a big deal.
Yeah. No, you're not. There's Grande, and then there's the rest of us.
It's nice to be back. Happy to be back on the stream after my travels.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure they're very interesting. But we are very glad to have you back. All right. So, how's Jedi Academy work? Very simply, if you have a question, Nightbot's already throwing it in there, but I'll reiterate it over the airwaves. Is that just type in the word question and then put your question. That way, Finn will know to scoop it up and we'll get it read in the orders, pretty much in the order that would it came in. Sometimes it gets a little crazy, but be patient with us. You know, we're trying to get all your questions scooped up, but make sure it does have the word question in front of it or is in the form of a question, because if not, then sometimes we can't differentiate between, you know, if you're making a statement or if there's an actual question. So make sure you really you differentiate between the two. That really helps us out. Okay, so getting all the questions in, Finn's scooping those up. I don't know what happened this week in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Not a lot happening. I mean, the Rey event's going on, but I think everybody here already had Rey, right? Anybody just trying to unlock Rey? I'd be shocked if that's the answer. Okay, that's what I thought. I love when it's early in the morning and people are still trying to wake up and you ask a question like, eh. Other than that, I mean, territory wars are going on right now. It's kind of been nice. It's been a slower week because the other weeks it's been like new characters and then this and that and ship changes and I mean, is there anything this week that happened that anybody wants to bring up or talk about? Where we're getting questions in?
Oh.
There's just a couple of good events that are pretty difficult but doable.
Yeah.
Like the event where you can take in either the Jedi or Ugnaught. That was a pretty good event. I was actually asked hey man, I don't know how to beat it. Can you make a video on it? And I was like, yeah, like, well, can you use lower end characters? And I was like, not really. Like, even on my test account, it's like all maxed out. And on my main account, it's all maxed out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have every Zeta and every Gear 12 piece, but I've got everything Gear 12 basically. And
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, I could make the event without using the event ability, because that is a really kind of, it's absolutely not a cheat, but it makes it really easy in comparison. So I said, I'll just not use the event ability and just walk through. And then I did the video, but I kind of forgot to talk about like why I didn't use the event ability. So I did the event, like walk through, and I got full health and protection by the end, and everybody's like, that's great that you pounded through it with Gear 12 characters, but you could have used the event ability. I'm like, well, yeah. I chose not to use it so I could showcase how to use the characters, and they're like, well, that would have been interesting to actually say that at the beginning. So anyway, it was a really cool video, but yeah, you know how it is. People are fickle like that. They were like,
people are just, there are some, for the most part, people are good, right? And they like your stuff and everything. Just those ass clowns that say something that you just shake your head at. Most times,
well, either way, it's a good video because it showcases.
Yeah, I watched it. It was really good. I was just curious to see what you were doing, but it's still really tough. Even with like my Jedi are like Gear 11, I think Ezra's, like Gear 10.75, like Mr. Pete's here too for Gear 11. But the other ones, like I was using like Hermit Yoda, General Kenobi. I mean, those are Gear 12 done, right, with Zetas and everything. Zeta Barris, and it still was like, that's a tough ass.
Then we have that one from yesterday. It's the one where we have the Sidious who can one shot everybody, and also it's just really, really hard. But it's really not. I run a Asajj Ventress lead.
Yeah,
I put Asajj Ventress as the lead. I hit auto, and literally my characters don't get hit because they take away turn.
Yeah.
It's
if you've got Mother Taliesin with Plague Bearer, it's even faster because I just did Mother Taliesin to Gear 12, the other Night Sisters to Gear 11, weak zombie, but it was easy peasy. I just put on auto yesterday where we were doing stuff. Like there it is. There's the event. Like is that it? Like just have Night Sisters done, and it's an easy event. If you don't, then you have to kind of manually do it. It can still be doable, but that Asajj lead is really, really key for that. Especially when you're facing, if Hideous could ever go, then you don't have to worry about getting wiped out, because I think I remember when it first came out, we tried it with Phoenix, and it was like, sweet baby crumpets, we got destroyed.
Yeah, we could tell when it first came out, it was right. Phoenix was all we had, and it was right before the Night Sisters got reworked.
Yep.
And so we were all like using Knights or Phoenix, and you had to like really, really have them maxed out, and you still had to, play it really carefully. And then if you wanted to end it with a 3-star, you would have to make sure that you put Hera's, revive ability on your tank, and make sure you taunted right before you went into that. It was really complex, but it's not now. Now you just put Asajj lead in with 4 other Night Sisters. You hit auto, you walk away, you come back, and they're all full health and protection. Yeah. And you're like, right.
I did it with Phoenix first time around. This time, I've got a Zeta on Sabine.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. But I was actually shocked.
Yeah, but what gear level were they?
My hero's Gear 11, and everyone else is one up from that.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes a difference.
But they're Phoenix. I mean, we all gear up
It's
Phoenix.
a Gear 12 character, and they really rock and roll. I mean, Phoenix.
But they're crew members.
Oh, but come on. Phoenix at high levels, especially with Zetas, can be disgusting.
They were Gear 10 plus 2. They were Gear 9 plus 3.
Yeah.
They were Gear 11 plus 1.
9 plus 3.
You can't say Gear 12, can you, Mike?
I didn't. I was still impressed that I actually got through the Sidious round. I mean, like you said, with Asajj lead, it's a cakewalk because you're taking away turn meter. Sidious just stands there and takes a beating until he's like, enough, I'm off, and then you go through and you clear it. but with the Phoenix, it's not the same case. You're not removing the turn meter, so Sidious does go and goes really hard. So yeah, I was actually shocked. It was more of a, oh, go on, we'll have a go, and then we'll do it with Night Sisters, and I'll show you how it's done.
Right.
But they actually did it, and I was like, oh, wow, true story.
Science.
Mm.
Anything else this week? T-Money, you're being awfully quiet. Anything stood out to you? Anything you want to mention briefly before we start getting to all these questions? Besides drinking lots of maple syrup, eh?
The maple syrup hasn't hit my brain yet. I think that's what's going on. We had a fantastic,
yes.
Just community-wise, we had a fantastic Angels stream yesterday.
Yes.
Told some Magma Trooper modding secrets in there. So, if you want to know those, you got to go and listen to that stream. And what else?
Well, we got the charity stream coming up on the 24th, the next Sunday, which is, if you're not familiar, it's been linked everywhere, and the event's already up, and we've already got the donation PayPal site set up too. Basically, what we're doing next Sunday, if you haven't heard already, is on the 24th, is we will be streaming for 12 hours. We've got lots of people lined up to basically do different things. But we're going to be raising money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And we're setting that up as we speak. And we got a lot of really cool stuff lined up. We got a lot of giveaways to give away, games, things of that nature. So that's on the 24th. And so please, if you would like to support that, that's going to be going on. I just realized something, and I will admit this now. I don't even think I asked you if you wanted to be on, Warrior. Is Warrior there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry, I was reading a question that was on the other line. So, what was your question?
Oh, I don't know. So I just realized I never asked if you wanted to participate in the charity event. I suck, Warrior. Of all the people, I don't think I reached out to you.
Yeah, I guess I had heard you mention it once previously. I think on this channel, or whatever. But yeah, I didn't hear about it. I definitely would hop on probably sometime throughout that 12 hours. I mean, 12 hours is a long time.
Can we count on you? I'll figure out what to do. But because I know you're working every day, right?
Pretty much, but send me the details and if I'm opening, I'll come in at the end of the stream. If I'm closing, I'll come at the beginning of the stream. I'll make it some of it.
Yeah, we'll make absolutely. But yeah, there's a link on our Discord that you should have access to. If not, then Dr. Finn Medicine One will get it. I just realized that I'm sitting there like, of all the people I was sending messages to, I didn't even think I sent one to you. And I meant to, too. Well, I'm stupid. All right, so, let me just mark out that off. Warrior, squared away. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's see here. Now it's time for some questions. I'll just go into order as people should up. So, we will start at the top with Mike and work our way down. Let's see here. First question from Luke Thyrocker. Love the name. I will always love that name. This is for you, Mr. Mike. Is Nest Zeta good at 4-star Gear 11? Also looking at Wampa, but at 6 stars, and will take some time to get Gear 10. What do you think there, Mike?
Yes. This has been a topic of conversation a few times now. That a 4-star Gear 11 Nest is viable in Arena. Yes, with the Zeta. Short, sweet answer, but yes, do it. She's one of a few plug and play characters. Yeah, she's fantastic. I'm not going to gush anymore.
You're right, because mine is 4-star Gear 11. So
she's nasty. But you have to have the Zeta or no?
I used her without the Zeta for like the first week, but it can get you into some trouble if you're having kind of a struggle battle and you're down to Nest and Wampa with that's in the team I use. And if she's not healing, especially if you're facing another Talzin, she doesn't have the health steal. You can get into trouble with Plague.
There you go. Science. All right, next question from Kavoth. Evothe. I hope I'm saying that correctly. We'll go to you, King Felix. So, does the Traya lead make the Emperor lead Zeta irrelevant for Arena now?
Don't have my Traya unlocked yet. I'm not planning on using her in the lead. And from the people I've gone against in my arena with Traya, no one's using her lead at the moment. They're still using Palpatine or even a Rex lead. So I think you should Zeta her unique, and I'd hold off on the leader ability until Traya kind of settles into the arena, because the turn meter gain you get from Palpatine or Rex is just better, I think.
All right, next question from Takedown Games, our good friend Stoner Jedi, Xylo. We'll go to Team Money G in her maple syrupy ways. Question for the panel: where is Boss going to be farmable and how much longer?
I'm not sure. I think
we
that
know where it's
Boss,
not going: Arena or GW. So let's just mark those off.
You know, I can't remember who it was. Somebody made a really good point the other day. Like, all the bounty hunters have ships, and so, you know, maybe we can look forward to that at some point. We know our ships table is imminent, and
bring all the bounty hunter ships in the game. They could.
You don't think they will?
I don't know what they're going to do with ships, with new ships and stuff. I'm really just, your guess is as good as mine at this point.
Yeah, like, what the heck are they going to put on that table?
Falcon, but it's like, okay, which direction are they going with ships? No idea. I could not even begin to tell you who they're going to bring in first or how they're going to do it. I mean, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
But I think that he will be. I don't think he'll be a hard node. Mm-mm. I don't think he's that. Oh, really? Kind of, no, I don't think so. I don't think he's that kind of tune. He's revealing himself as very important, I think, in territory wars. Not so much in other areas of the game, a little bit in the raid. But I think he's a Cantina tune. I think he's like a 12, 14. I don't think he's a 16, somewhere in there, Cantina tune. Okay. That's my best guess.
All right. Next question from Stunner Jedi. This is for Warrior specifically. Question for Warrior: what are some of the personal benefits from being a game changer?
So the game changer
Besides all the cash and girls.
And the foot
Oh yeah, right. So the game changer program is designed by EA to bring in a select few from the community to represent the community, to create a two-way dialogue. And that two-way dialogue is to do two things: to help have a few people that actually can bring the community's thoughts and feelings together in a more concise manner. So instead of having forums where you've got 9,000 people screaming and shouting, you actually have like 5 to 15 people actually putting articulate ideas out to the developers that they can actually chew on and understand. Because I mean, I hear the same song and dance over and over, just like they do on the forum. So we're able to bring that down to a more, scientific approach as far as bringing feedback to the game. So we can tell them what the community would like to see and want and things like that. So we become advocates for the people who play the game and allow for that open way of communication going up. The other thing that it does is it allows for them then also to give the game changers these builds that have like all the characters maxed out, and then we are able to make content on anything that the community would want, really, or that we could come up with idea-wise to try to showcase, to try to help teach, educate, entertain, to showcase the game in its, in all of its glory kind of thing, with everything maxed out kind of thing. It allows for the community also to theory craft and get a hold of us and say, well, what about if you did, a Bosk lead with Dengar and the Triumvirate, which is a video I'm working on right now. So it's like, there's things like that where there's this two-way communication, information that goes to them and information that comes from them down to the community. And so we are basically a bridge. That's the best way I can describe it. As far as like personal gain, I mean, you could say that since I know the next couple characters coming into the game, that I have an advantage, I guess, but I really don't, because I mean, if I want it, I'm going to either have it free to play like everybody else, or I'm going to have to spend money like everybody else. Just because I know that a character's coming in, it doesn't really change the fact that everybody knows a character's coming in. But I can at least test this character a couple days earlier and decide for myself whether I want to get it or not. But that's part of the influence, right? I get to decide, and then in my video, when it comes live, I can tell people my opinion, and Arnold will have his opinion and I'll have mine, and Mobile Gamer has his, and everybody has their own. And so it's nice because there's a full spectrum of people from free to play all the way up to Kraken like me who can give their opinions on this information.
All right. Excellent answer. All right, next question. Back to the top, to the man with a plan from across the pond. Mike Hunt, this is from Thoka. And their question is, so after having some time now, what are some good ship setups now for Fleet Arena?
Ooh,
and then,
good question.
And then another related question for this one is from Stoner Jedi, along those lines. With ships 2.0 being out for some time now, what do you think is the best ship lineup from top to bottom? They both are kind of wondering about ships, best starting lineup, stuff like that. I got to tell you, in the Territory Wars, I've been using Galactic Fleet with Mace. That sucker on defense is holding pretty damn well.
See, I'm ever so slightly salty about 2.0 ships. And the fact that lots of people invested over a period of a year, and then they're like, you know what, let's just reset it. Let's just change everything about it. But I went deep into Chimera. So I've got a max Chimera, which I'm kind of obligated to run at the moment because my other three ain't that great. I've played around with lots of different lineups and just got really frustrated, winning 1 out of 5 sort of thing. But one of my shard mates gave me a loadout which seems to work. I mean, I'm able to take first with it. It's utilizing Chimera, although I'm going to be looking at Executrix and Home One. I'm not sure which one of those two I'm going to go for. But it's TIE Advanced, First Order TIE Pilot, and Biggs as your starting 3, with Scimitar, Reaper, and then whatever you want. For me, it's been my Genotions, because I've got a decent Sunfac and a decent Spy, and Spy I've got the Taunt, so it'll place 2 Taunts onto ships. If there is already a Taunt, one of them will be that, but it will give you an option. And if RNG's with you, it'll be like their TIE Advanced or whatever, so you can just wipe it off the board. You have to. It's like a death mark. But that seems to work quite well. It's kind of using the first. It's kind of holding off. Don't use the AOE on the first time out. If you can get away without using the heal, do that as well. To use the basic with, I tend to use it with TIE Advanced because it just hits really hard with that offense boost. And then the idea is, in the perfect RNG, you bring in Scimitar next, cloak everyone, put the Retribution onto Biggs. Biggs then target locks everyone on his basic. This is perfect RNG. So he's constantly replacing his protection and his healing, and you just wipe them out. And then you've got the option after that. You can bring in Reaper and get rid of the next tank that they've called in with the middle one, which clears all their buffs and everything, and play around with that. Normally, once you're that far, you just hit the obliterate everything thing from Thrawn and win. There you go. Did that make any sense?
That makes total sense.
Yay!
All right. Next question for King Felix. This is from Grand Admiral of the Republic. Question for HTCR, Heroic Sith Raid. What faction should I totally max out? Resistance or Night Sisters? If resistance, then should I plug in Hoda, Zeres, or just Scoundrel Ray as my fifth?
I think I would go with Night Sisters, to be honest, as long as
Absolutely.
Zombie is weak.
Well, even
If
a
you
strong
are-
zombie can still do really well.
You can, but if your zombie's still weak, then I've seen some extremely crazy numbers. I've said many times in the stream, I hate weak zombie. I think it's cheating.
Well,
So
I
my
use
zombies
it, so
are-
I'm a cheater, and I'm proud of
Yep.
it.
Of course you are.
You're not cheating, you're not trying. That means you don't give a crap about anybody.
I've seen really good numbers with Night Sisters. Resistance, I mean, still is the best team for Phase 1 as far as I'm concerned. I like Hermit Yoda in that team. And especially now that I got him to 7 stars. I like Hermit Yoda in that team.
With who else?
With Ray and the droids, and I use Scavenger Ray.
You don't use Resistance Trooper?
I've been mixing it up, trying to find out which works best.
Sure.
I've been wondering about Scavenger Ray's Zeta. I don't know. I don't think it would help there because you can't get any debuffs. Although maybe if you daze one of the minions to the side, it might help. I'm not sure. But I still go with Night Sisters, and especially if your zombie is still weak, I think you'll get more damage at the back end of the Sith raid. And if you're like me and you always miss the start, that's kind of helpful. And most of the Night Sisters are. I finished Talzin, so everyone should be pretty close for Talzin.
Oh yeah, I'm done with my time. She's been done. She's gear 12, and God, will you put that Plague Bearer along with the double Zeta on Asajj? That team, I haven't even done Daka yet. Her Zeta.
No, I haven't done Daka yet either. I just have both of their uniques. I haven't Zetaed a lead for them yet. But I'm a fan of the Night Sisters over the Resistance. I don't know if anybody. I'm pretty sure you can get more damage with the Night Sisters.
Phase 4, yeah, you can.
Yeah. So I would go with that, and then it's not like you have to do either or. It's just who do you want to do first.
Yeah.
So do the Night Sisters first, and then with you scoring more damage in the raid, you'll get you won't get better gear in Sith raid, but then you can.
It's just more shards depending on where you place. That's all it is.
That's right. You'll get more Trader shards, and then you can add that to the shard shop currency in 5 months.
Yeah. See? Science. All right. Next question from Fat Tony 99. This is for T-Money. Question. After crew lead Zeta, should I do first order Stormtrooper or crew unique Zeta? Focusing on Sith Raid, TB, and Territory War for defense.
I love I love the unique Zeta. Fast Zeta is really key to protect against resistance when you're on defense in territory wars. So, if you try to stun Fast and it doesn't take, and he hits you back, that will start the turn meter train for the first order team. So it is a very good Zeta. I've kind of waffled back and forth on him, with resistance.
You did the wrong Zeta. Don't even play team.
No. I'm talking about just him as like a strategic part of that team. And you shush. There's a thing where I get mixed up between like FOST and First Order TIE Pilot.
Right.
They're acronyms. And one Saturday night when we had been having some drinks and laughing, I Zetaed the wrong one. They were all like, what's your FOST at? I'm like, you're 12. They're like, that's amazing. Put a Zeta on him. Okay. But I was thinking it was First Order TIE Pilot. Anyway, don't do that, Zeta. That is not a Zeta. That's
don't Zeta with drunk kids.
But Foss Zeta is worth it. But I think the Crew Zeta is very dynamic. It's it's going to fall out of favor in Arena now because Treya just sheds all debuffs. It's magical and amazing, and she is so great. I love that tune. But you can stun her all you want. She's just going to shed that come her turn. And so whereas you used to have Crew sitting behind Rex, and the pre-taunt is still great there, but then he just kind of becomes useless after that. But pre-taunting tunes are very precious. What do we have? 4 in the game?
Mm-hmm.
Chase, Zombie, Shore, and Crew, and that is a fantastic ability in my opinion, and worth a Zeta.
Yeah.
Definitely for territory wars. It makes your team less vulnerable because you can't just, point at first order officer and go for it. Stop that turn meter train from starting by getting the fastest one first.
All right, next question for Warrior, and this is from our good friend Sanely Red. Question: I run Chimera with TIE Advance, X1 Biggs First Order TIE Fighter with reinforcements of Slave 1, TIE Reaper, Poe, and TIE Silencer. Should I change my ship lineup a bit? I can win most battles, but I drop a lot.
I would. So with ships, everybody's using Chimera, and why? Because for nearly 10 months, that was the meta. And so everybody had that. And then when they launched ships, they were like, well, they're all going to be just as good. So they went ahead and put all their abilities into one basket and then realized, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. And I hear a lot of people, I just heard Mike Hunt say this on the stream earlier today. He's like, well, I've done everything and my other ships aren't as good. So why even, I might as well kind of. And that's kind of the sentiment, I guess, that everybody has. And I would say dastardly, no, get away from that ship. Get away from the Chimera. One, because you don't need it anymore. It's not meta. It's only meta because it's meta by default from previous meta, and people are afraid to try new things. I haven't dropped out of the top 10 in like 3 weeks, and I don't use the Chimera. I use either use AA or I use Executrix. And Executrix, it's paper, rock, scissors, you see. So pretty much Admiral Akbar's home one can beat everything. I mean, I can slice through anything in like a minute, like really fast. And for climbing, and then for defensive purposes, it's so strong offensively, people are having a hard time beating it before my team beats them. So it's great. But another home one with Geonosians, because see, I knew Geonosians were good, really good, but I didn't personally want to just have Geonosians on the front line. I wanted to do different ships, rebels, and I wanted to have first order, and I wanted to be able to blend like all the ships. I want to play with all of them, right? So I did Admiral Akbar, but I didn't go in with Geonosians. Well, when you hit Geonosians under Admiral Akbar, it's a nightmare. And so, by the way, if you're looking for the most OP team in the game, it is Geonosians with Rebel backup. If you have the 3 Geonosians under Admiral Akbar and your first in is Phantom 2 and you have its reinforcement maxed, it will bring in the Ghost immediately thereafter. You will flood the field and win every time. I can win 1 out of 7 battles when I'm trying to fight this guy's Geonosian battle. He never falls out of the top 5. Really good team. So that's the team everybody should have if they want meta. But again, I can beat that team, and that's the way I do it is I go to Executrix. The Executrix does really well against all of the ships for the most part. Not as strong offensively as Admiral Akbar, but a little more strong defensively. And all you have to do is load it down with a bunch of tanks, and then a couple key strong offensive characters. For example, have Poe in the backup, have TIE Advanced, Imperial TIE Fighter since it's an Empire ship, and then maybe put like Sunfac and Big, so you have a couple tanks to kind of sway the battle and keep it tanky. And then in the back you can have some other tanky ships, like the new clone ship is absolutely amazing. It comes in and it's has protection, it's taunting. If you take you have to kill all of its protection off before it will stop taunting, and then it has an ability that puts protection back up. And if it's under Admiral Akbar, every time it shoots at a turn, which it does a lot, it gets protection back up. It's like a ship that never dies. The clone ship is like absolutely frustration, but it's a great ship under even Executrix. So I like to run Executrix because if someone's running Geonosians, I can run a tankier Executrix team and win every time against the Geonosians. But it's like I said, paper, rock, scissors. So I put all my eggs into 2 baskets, and I did Admiral Akbar and as much of Executrix as I could, and I still have a little bit to go with the Executrix. And then after that, I'm going to Mace and going to do his ship before I go to Chimera and do that ship. So if it was me, I would jump onto the Executrix boat, since that's what you were thinking about possibly doing. You could even keep your lineup. Your lineup will be actually stronger offensively underneath the Executrix. 100%. It's going to be amazing. You're going to love watching your Darth Vader hit for over 100K on his basic. It'll be fun.
All right. Very well spoken. All right, back to the top. Mike, next question. Jay Hobby has a question. Best counter for a trail-led Sith team? Mr. Squarey Pants.
Yes, I'm there. Oh, sorry, I was arguing with Hideous.
Oh, you're arguing with Hideous, or are you messing around with Sweary Daughter?
Sweary Daughter. Sweary Daughter is out shopping for work clothes.
You said that before, and then she popped in and started cussing. Yeah. I don't trust you, Mike.
No, she is. She's out with Sweary Mum.
Okay.
It's a Sweary day out. God help them.
Swear day out.
Not them.
Run to shop and cuss, shop and cuss, and shop and cuss.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be that brave, I must admit. It's like, no, you go. I'll stream. I'll stream and play COD and argue with Hideous. So, what was the question? Something about Treya. Best Treya
counter
lineup? Team
for a Treya-led Sith team.
Oh, a Treya-led Sith team. Oh. I would defer this really to Team Money, because I tried it. It was like a minute and a half left in Territory Wars, and I tried the Thrawn lead with Magma. And that's awesome. Magma.
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 I'm gonna melt it. Every city in the world will. Yeah, come on. Let's hear that, Ranger.
The liquid. It's a big giant volcano full of liquid hot magma.
And sea bass with freaking laser beams on the heads. Yes. But that's the one that leaps out at me anyway, is the Thrawn Magma. Let's say it again. With Death Trooper, because you want something that's going to put a death mark out once you've cleared one.
All right. Next question for King Felix. Let's go to Junior Hawk 003 has a question. What team have people been using against the EP-led Fast Vader, Scion, Treya, and Nihilus? Every video leaves out Vader. What do you think there, King Felix?
So I've been using Rex lead with Nest gear or star level 4-star gear 11 with a Zeta. Wampa is 5-star gear 11 with a Zeta. Talzin 7-star gear 11, almost 12 with her unique Zeta. And you got to get I just get Nest as fast as possible. I have my Nest can actually outrun some of the Vaders on my shard, which is beautiful. Actually, most of the Vaders on my shard. I have her up to 284. So, and you want to do her AoE days, which removes the turn meter. And then, depending on who you have going next, which is either going to be Thrawn or Rex, usually. One thing I noticed that I was doing stupidly was I would Fracture and then do Squad Discipline, which would make Fracture last like barely a turn because he gains so much turn meter. So you want to turn meter swap with Thrawn if he goes next. I usually turn meter swap with Talzin because she's my slowest. Put the Plague on. Rex goes, squad discipline up, and then you fracture. I usually fracture Scion or Treya, depending on which one is giving you more issues. And then you got to take out Treya first. And after Vader's a non-factor once you get Rex's tenacity up. He's completely out of the ball game, and he can be saved for last. And with that team, I don't think I've been annihilated in a while. With the turn meter gain from Nihilus, and you get an extra stun with Nest, and then you let Plague go to work. Plague is your best friend against these Palpatine-led teams because if they start going fast, they just die faster. Anything I'm missing out?
No,
I think that's pretty good. And you get a stun with Wampa sometimes, I've noticed. And I should probably read his ability. I think it's when he hits somebody with Expose. Is that what it is?
That's the one, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, and Nest exposes on her basic. So if you counter, you get an AoE and they counter. Nest will hit first, put an Expose on, and then Wampa hits second because he's a little slower moving across the battlefield, and it's a free stun.
All right.
And even if they had tenacity up, Nest clears that on her basic because it's a defensive buff, and you still get the stun. Bingo bango.
Next question. Let's see here. Next question for Team Money. This is from Moogle. Not Google, Moogle. Question. Aside from Chex Mix, what's another good squad for Heroic Sith Raid Phase 3?
I don't know.
Well, think of something. You're the expert. People come to you for knowledge and maple syrup.
I know, right? I know. I'm going to go to... So, really, what you need to be asking is the Sith Triumvirate Guide, because Annex of Oro created a guide for the Sith raid, and it has all of the teams in there, as well as the top scores in every one. So, I mean, I have our guild does the raids quite quickly, and P3 is, I think, one of the more limited phases. You know, 1 probably being the most limited, and then 3 is to what you can really put in there to make a big difference. But I'll grab the link here. And so, yeah, there's like, just kind of, Chex Mix, and then I have run First Order in there. Like when I've been out, I've gone working and helped other guilds, and sometimes P3 kind of goes a little slow, and so I've put in First Order and Boba teams as well. You can put in there. It's saying you put your Night Sisters in. I definitely use my Night Sisters at the end of at P3 to kind of sneak in some extra points going into P4. It's a little cheating, but I do my P3 run and then right at around between 1% and 2%, I'll put in my sisters, and it doesn't stack Asajj's offense. It resets between the phases, but it definitely gets you an extra 1,000,000 points or so. So it's a nice little bonus there while you're waiting for the next phase to open. I guess I wouldn't have to wait that long because it's only 1% more, but yeah. So Night Sisters definitely do work in P3. I can get, what do I get usually? Well, I get that 2% at the end, but usually I'm kind of hanging on right at the end because you can't clear the bonds as easily as you can in P4. It's not as sustainable in the long term.
All right. All right, next question for Warrior. This is from Tanya Roth. Question, Warrior. What are your thoughts on game changers that trade requests on devs' accounts in exchange for money donations? Or game changers that solicit information from CG, both devs and their dev accounts, in regards to certain upcoming changes to the game in order for personal gain?
So, I see where that person's going, and I can empathize in the sense that I see what they're saying. So, for example, there's a specific game changer. I'm not going to say the name, but that individual does a live stream and says, "When you give me money, I will then pick a team of your choosing to test." And I don't think that that's in the spirit of why we were given the game changer accounts. I think the spirit was to help and benefit the community as a whole. And as a side effect, people will watch our videos and we'll make money superficially through YouTube. And that's the benefit we're supposed to have. Whereas there's individuals who are making hundreds of dollars in one live stream by requiring people to donate to get that. And so the spirit of that, I feel like, might not line up with what it was initially intended, and I can hear what they're saying and I can empathize for sure. But at the end of the day, I mean, are they in violation or anything like that? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, really not, because at the end of the day, they have these accounts to showcase different team comps and things like that, and that's exactly what they're doing. And YouTube makes some money regardless. And some would argue they're just being smart about it and making more money than most because they're being wise with that. But yeah, I don't do that because I feel the way the person that's asking the question feels about it.
All right, there you go. And we've already answered this question already, so I'm not going to get into depth about it. Let's see. Next question back up top to Mike. Let's see here. Question: with ships PVE right around the corner, do we think we will get any marquee solo tunes before the new PVE release, or even a legendary tune? I think, Mike.
Oh, I'd love a legendary tune. I don't know if it's just me, but I just think that it's been a long time since the last one. And a dark side legendary would be, long awaited.
I still want to see Darth Anakin, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Kill where you get to go into the room and kill younglings. I think that would be the greatest thing this game's ever added. The little boy comes out like, "Boss Skywalker, what are we going to do?" And you're just like, "No."
Yeah. Go pick your hand up.
I would never, ever, ever question CG again. Like that's ballsy.
In regards to Marquee, I'd like to say no, because I'm still reeling from 7 characters within 28 days being released. It's technically 6 characters and a ship, but if you want to run the ship, you've got to max out 2 of the new characters, or at least invest heavily in them, because at 3 or 4 star, it just isn't going to cut it. So, you're at the best part of $1,000 at least just to run a ship, which is awful. Yeah. But hey, that's just me. Well, no, it's not just me, is it? But we need ships. I mean, we've covered it already, haven't we? We've said that virtually all the bounty hunters have ships. I believe Luke Skywalker's pretty good at flying a ship. Apparently, we don't know because he doesn't have one. And also apparently, there's this character called Han Solo. He was famous in a ship, and we got 5 of them. And how many ships between all 5? Let me stop and think. It's a round number. Oh yeah, 0. So it's I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, in some ways, it'd be a case of you got to throw us a bone and give us some events that give us 7-star ships with characters to just get going. Because if they're not that, then you're going backwards with your fleet comps and you're running lower ranked or lower powered fleets, and you're just painting a bullseye on you. Everyone's going to have a crack, and if they're running like 7-star Gear 12 pilot ships, I would hope that they would win. I mean, unless they're going to introduce something similar to the fact that Scion at 4-star with the Zeta is viable, Nest at 4-star with the Zeta is viable. So if they could introduce that into ships, maybe. But that, I think that's what would have to happen to actually get the player base behind any new ships. Because, you know, you're not going to go 600 to 1,000 just to be up there.
All right. All right, next question for King Felix. Nathaniel Miller. Around the corn, how did you get into Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?
Awesome. So, July of 16. In Korea, there's 2 major training exercises a year, and we were prepping for that. But our equipment was broken, and so we were sitting in this metal shed all day waiting for some contractors to come and fix it. Sitting there for, about 12 to 14, maybe 16 to 20 hours a day. And I was just bored out of my mind. And so I was looking for something to occupy me while it was there. And then I was watching, can't remember what I was watching on YouTube, and I saw an ad for Galaxy of Heroes. So I downloaded it. And 2 years and way too much money later, here I am.
Here you is.
Yeah. That's how I got it.
Anybody else want to share their story?
Mine was a New Year's resolution download.
Yeah, mine was it just popped up, and I just happened to catch it on Facebook one day when it first came out. And I was like, okay, this is launching. Let me just go ahead and see what this is about. And I've been addicted ever since.
I used to play Blitz, which is an EA game.
Yep.
And I got a
Pop
2
up.
or 3, pop up with they were giving me a Poe Dameron. So Poe got me into it. I like, oh, what's this? And that was it.
And Team Money, we know how that is. It's Canadian makes 10% of their population play the game. She just happened to be one of the 10.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's socialist paradise up here. We share the gaming responsibilities equally. Men, women, children, all of us.
Animals,
Everyone has equal access to
bears, penguins, Eskimos.
Penguins?
Yes.
Penguins.
Inuits, Rangers.
No, they're Eskimos. I'm pretty sure that's science. All right. Next question for the lovely Team Money from Stoner Jedi. Question for the panel. We'll start with you, Team Money. Top 5 defensive teams for territory war.
Damn, baby, you want to give my secrets away?
Secrets.
Okay, in order. Yes, in order.
Don't do it in order. Just throw people off. Just share
Okay.
stuff.
Well, no, I'm not in order in the board. It's no secret. I love Kylo Ren Unmasked.
Yes.
A well-modded Kylo Ren Unmasked team on Territory Wars.
And you like him without a shirt.
I liked him a lot more before the movie. Let me tell you, he was a lot better in Girls. I like his quirky weirdness. But anyway, that's a real. Don't put me on that tangent, Ranger. A very well modded crew team is very nearly unbeatable without very specific squads, and often needs to be a couple of battles. So yes, crew. Treya obviously needs to go on defense if you're not chicken. Emperor Palpatine, still you can split a Treya and Emperor Palpatine teams. CLS, Rey, GK Barriss. There's like a whole bunch of all the Zeta Phoenix. There's a whole bunch of teams that are kind of not as strong, but I really see them more. I don't see TW as like one particular team holding. I see it as like a whole, pardon me, maybe cheesy, a whole organism. And you have to look at the whole picture. You're trying to drain counters. You're not trying to have your teams hold on defense. you're trying to have like a team hold on the fence at the end. You're trying to drain the other team's counters as they come through and wash over your board and anticipate what direction they're going to go in and that sort of thing. It's more than just which teams are going to actually hold battle to battle. It's what's going to drain their counters and drain their solid counters.
All right. Anybody else want to add on to that? All right. Moving on to Warrior, we got a couple questions here for you. So, let's see. First question is from Nathaniel Morgan. The question is, Warrior, have you tried Resistance Pilot against Geo? Or Res Pilot against Geos?
Resistance Pilot is good, and the rework makes her ship better, but I don't actively use her ship in my lineup. One of the things I look at is the ship's overall health and protection combination, because durability is a big deal. Chimera does get to use the ultimate first, but it's terrible now. I mean, it does kill one ship, and that's it, as long as you're running kind of more durable ships. I almost always let the opposing Chimera go and do the ultimate, and I happily still win the battle, which is really kind of sad because that's not the way it used to be. But that ship is on the lower end for health and protection stats, and so while the abilities gotten a little better, as has a lot of ships, I just don't see it as one of the ships I really want to go kind of all in on. And right now we're all in the same boat, I would hope, where we have like nothing to put in our Omegas, and our, with 2 Omegas a drop, it's like need 15 to max 1 ability out. So it takes like, over a week to be able to do 1 ability on 1 ship. So it's really slow going, and that's just not a ship I'm willing to let go yet, since I have ships like the TIE Advanced I'm still working on, and Poe Dameron's ship I'm still working on, and those are arguably both way better.
All right. And then the next question is, question 4, have you been able to try out a max Phantom Reinforcement and then second call to the new Millennium Falcon? Seems like the combo could take out any ship pretty well on turn 3, and you would get out 2 ships quickly as well.
So, say the first ship, I heard the new Millennium Falcon as the second.
Have you been able to try out a maxed Phantom Reinforcement and then second call to the new Millennium Falcon? Seems like the combo would take out any ship pretty well on turn 3, and you would get out 2 ships quickly as well.
Yeah, so what they're saying is you got your front 3, and then you put in Phantom 2 in the first backup slot, and then you put in the Millennium Falcon. So on offense, yes, that will always work, and you can build some really cool offensive strategies no matter what. I guess the issue is offense means nothing. It's defense, and the Phantom 2 doesn't come in first a lot of the time on defense for the opposing individual, especially if you're chewing down their bigs, because what happens is you're trying to kill their bigs, right? So you can start to target their other ships, and because of that, it realizes that it either needs a heal or it needs another taunt, so it bypasses the Phantom 2 and moves to the next taunting ship, like a clone ship, or the Boba Fett or someone, and brings that in, and so you kind of, to build a team properly, need to know how the ships. That's why, for consistency. So a lot of people are like, how does your Executrix stay in the top 10? Well, 4 ships in the back are all tanks. There is now a priority list. I get to create the priority list, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Why? Because they're all the same. So the game only goes in priority based on, once it knows it needs a tank, it goes to the first tank in your line of 4, not the third. So, but if the only tank is in the 3rd slot, then that's the one it will bring in. So you got to learn AI and play to the AI's weakness. And so that's why, because now it's just really tanky. And in Executrix's ultimate is an ultimate. It's the only true ultimate in the game right now. When those ships come over, you are not surviving that if it's maxed out, period. I don't care if you have 4 ships out. It's not happening. You're going to lose every ship. So because of that. But what he's talking about, or she, I guess I didn't catch the name of the person, is that the new Millennium Falcon is really overpowered as a reinforcement. Very, very, very strong ship. But I don't see a lot of people using that ship for a long time, including myself, because it's pay to play right now, and I'm not going to buy the characters and the ship. That's three things that have to go in on, and you're talking 600 to 900 plus the gearing. So you're talking about well over $1,000 for to utilize a single ship in the game. That's silly. There's no one ship that's necessary or required. You know what I mean? So I have tested it. I've got a test account, so I have tested it, and it's good, but it's not worth, in my opinion, $1,000 to use it.
All right. Next question to Mike. This is from Nathaniel Miller. Question: most underrated character and ship.
Most underrated character in ships. Ooh. I don't. Would Geonosians come under underrated? I mean, we don't use them. The Geonosians had their day when the game started. I mean, Geonosian Soldier. There you go. Yeah, that would be my one. Geonosian Soldier. If you played the game from the very beginning, you've probably got a well-developed soldier. If you've joined it in the past year, you're like, nah, I'll leave that. I'll come back to that when I've done everything that I need to do and on all my favourite characters, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, Geonosian Soldier, I would say, because he buffs the rest of them. He can counter all the time, and he kind of gels the other two. That would be my proposal. What say you?
What say you?
What say you?
What say you?
Not dilly dilly.
What say us all? Dilly dilly. To the pit of despair to all. Anybody else? Thoughts on that question?
I love Soldier. I think that I love having tunes at the lowest gear possible to win. And my resistance pilot is at gear 7, and I take her into territory wars all the time to win with my resistance team. And however, I really like that resistance ship. It's especially on a Geonosian team because it adds under Akbar, because it adds another assist to the group. And I want it so bad. I just wish, I wish I had it. And you know what? I just have faith that we're going to get a resistance capital ship, and if we do, I want to be ready. So I'm just thinking aloud here. I'm probably going to start gearing her. Yeah. And I might put the gear 12 piece on Poe too. I think my Poe is consistently hitting for 110,000 and he's not maxed. So yeah, that's exciting.
Hey, Ranger, was the question character and ship or character or ship?
Yeah. Most underrated character and ship. It doesn't have to be the same character and ship, but it could just be any combination of what you think is. Oh.
So for me, the character, and it's been the same character for probably like the last year, and it's Ayla Secura. She's my territory war secret weapon. Keep her on offense, and with the counter and the stun, and then if you pair her with, she can call to assist. I'm actually working on a top secret team that I'm sure Warrior already has because he's got everyone gear 12. But anyway, Ayla Secura is my most underrated or undervalued character. And then ship-wise, I still don't see a lot of people using Poe Dameron to proper effectiveness, because with his reinforcement ability, you can now one-shot a full health, TIE fighter pilot. And, right off the bat, there he goes, and you don't have to worry about your dodge, and you don't have to worry about the extra target lock going on. So I like, I'm going to go with Poe and Ayla for me.
All right. Let's see. Next question to King Felix. This is from Fat Tony 99. What should be the speed order for First Order team consisting of Caloran Unmasked, Foss, First Order Officer, First Order Executioner, and First Order TIE Fighter Pilot? I know First Order officer the fastest, but I am unsure about the rest. What do you think, Felix?
So I'm gonna guess it's for territory wars, probably defense. And you're gonna need to put OG Kylo Ren in there because with his lash out, he's given the whole team turn meter. And so you actually want him on that team and to go very fast because when he does his AoE, I think it's 10 or 15% turn meter per critical hit, I think it is. And the whole team goes faster with him and officer. And then you start to get in a lot of trouble with them going over and over and over, getting their buffs. Then you can't kill them. And then 4 battles later, and they're still at full protection, and your guild is pissed at you. But after for the turn order, you want officer to go, OG Kylo. And then once you get to your 2 tanks, it really doesn't matter which one goes first. You're going to have Kylo Ren unmasked use his stun first move. So he's going to stun one character. First Order Stormtrooper, especially once you put a Zeta on him, will cleanse himself and then taunt, which most likely will call an assist from another First Order character. And then you have Executioner can be your slowest because he's going to gain turn meter on his own per his special. Yeah, I'll go with that.
All right. Let's see. Next question for T-Money. And the question is... Let's see, from Stoner Jedi. Question, has anyone seen the new solo tunes and their top 10 PvP? I have one in my shard with Kier lead, Nest, L3, Young Han, Vader, and Vandor Chewie. Thoughts?
I don't understand that. Have we seen them in top 10?
Yeah.
In Arena?
Yeah.
Definitely not. No. Not in my arena. I haven't seen them.
Memphis Nest here and there, but not like
I would love to see them. I think they're very cool, tricky little dynamic teams. I think that they're raid tunes though. But I don't know, War, if you want to add. I know you've played with them lots on the test account, and you've said you've been hitting hard in arena. But I see their abilities as there's lots of like kind of stacking stuff, and I think that they're wonderful tunes.
The new scoundrels.
The new scoundrels, yeah. If they're PvP worthy, if they're going to be. If we've seen them in the top 10, I guess if we think they're going to land there.
This is the problem. They are really difficult to beat. So they're a decent defensive team, but they're like really almost impossible to win. There's just no DPS there, and I know people are going to argue and say, "Oh, the Han Solo can stack over a 4-minute battle into 70,000 hits." Well, when you've got Treo and you've got the triumvirate, it's in more of the top 10. It can't beat the triumvirate team. It just can't. We tried and tried and tried. Arnold tried and tried and tried. We probably have 1,000 battles between all of us game changers, and only one game changer said, "Oh yeah, they're totally PvP worthy," which he's like a genius. Skeller X is the one that put out the solo video of Phase 4. He's a total PvE nut. He's awesome. Love him to death. But he got them to finally win. But I mean, it took him 200 runs to figure out the exact kill order and exactly how to. It's like defense is never going to do that for you. And so they're pretty tanky. They're kind of like a lot of people have said, the Phoenix 2.0. They're like Phoenix. They they regenerate a lot, and you've got to have a kill order. You got to kill Chewie first so they don't regenerate protection, and then you've got to work on their DPS characters and blah blah blah. But I had too hard a time beating anybody in the current meta. If the meta shifts, maybe, but the meta is currently too strong for that team.
All right. Next question is for you, Warrior, from Andrew Galvin. Question, Warrior, how many Zetas do you have now? Do you still have the most in the game?
Well, let's go to StarWars.gg and look.
Has someone dethroned you?
Pretty, huh?
He wants to know if you've been dethroned.
I doubt it.
That's a lot of
I'm acquiring them at the same speed that everybody else is acquiring them. So let's see. So there is one other guild that has a couple guys that are like total nuts when it comes to this too. So there's one other. It's their Wallet Warriors. So I got to look at Wallet Warriors as well. But let's see. Zetas on Team Instinct. So Bravo Team Instinct is the only 200 million guild. So arguably the most Zetas are on these guys, but like I said, we'll go check Wallet Warriors as well, and we can move on to another question while I'm doing that here in a second. Let me just look at Team Instinct, because Team Instinct Bravo is 200 million. I should see. I got 49, plus I'm sitting on one. I'm building my second backup as well, but I got 49, and In Dragon's Blood has 48. And Trezillo, has 48. So yeah, I'm number one in Bravo. And so if you guys want to do other questions, I'll look up the Wallet Warriors, because they were the only one that had anybody that was close. So
right.
I'll go look real quick.
Let's go back to the top to Mike Hunt then, and this is from Darth Revan. His question is, Mike, what are people using strategy-wise in territory war these days with all these changes to ships?
There's the tank Tarkin. That's the one that springs to mind immediately, because you're going to hold back. Going back to what we discussed earlier regarding ships, we all really went in for Chimera because it's been like the meta in ships for 10 months, and we've all developed the tunes and everything around them. So you're going to hold back Chimera, and chances are you're going to hold back Home 1 as your two offensive ships and try and take out two defenses, or try and win 2 battles with those. Tarkin and tanks is one where you're just holding out for the Imperial wave or whatever at the end. That's kind of I think that's how we go. So it's like Umbar and Plo, Biggs, Clone, Trooper. So Clone
What about
Sarge.
Mike? What about your overall strategy for territory wars? Now, since ships is a little bit different, do you attack differently in terms of how you move through the different territories? Do you still kind of do your same thing, moving through the top? What about the general strategy for territory wars?
General is go for the ships. Yeah, head down, because they yield. I think the top line yields more points than the bottom line, doesn't it? I've never.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's yeah. So that's it. It's just basic numbers, and then once you've done that, then drop down from north to south and try and clear them if possible. But yeah, head towards the ships. Yeah, that's definitely changed with this 2.0. Kind of opens it up a bit more. I mean, it's clever accounting, isn't it? Rather than introduce new ships and having us clamoring for there isn't enough ships to do it, is just reduce the number that you put in the fleet. So effectively spreading them out more.
All right.
So Wallet Warriors have one person that has 49 Zetas, so I'm tied for the most Zetas in the game with Killswitch, who, by the way, Killswitch was in Bravo, but he's apparently moved over to Wallet Warriors, and they're almost at 200 million for their guild too, which is highly impressive as well.
Oh yeah, we're at 160 something in MC2, and then I'm like, that's pretty good, and then I go, oh, they have 200 million.
If you do the math, it's like 4 million GP per person in the game. That's nutty.
Yeah.
For all of us, even for Bravo, it's like, what? Are you serious?
What
I had
did
no
you
idea.
say?
I know. I had no idea. Everybody, like, I was all like super proud. I'm like, I hit 4.1 million GP, and I was like, yay! And they're like, oh yeah, that's everybody. And I'm like, oh.
You're not special here.
Best in our guild is 47.
Wow.
All right.
Really?
Yeah, we got a 47 and a 43.
Wow.
Oh, I'm languishing on 40.
Would you say you're sniffing 40?
I'm on 40, but I've
You-
done stupid ones. I've done Vandor Chewy and yeah.
Oh,
Solo.
Zetas. My bad. I thought we were talking Kiki. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not sure. We're getting there. We move when everyone above us does their shuffle, their territory war stroke territory battle shuffles. We climb a bit, but we're around about 20 overall. Oh, there's a donation.
Hey, Wargold just
Wow.
donated $20 in Canadian money. Get free coffees and maple syrup. Hey,
Thanks, Wargirl.
Thank you,
Wargirl lives
Wargirl.
in a town that I grew up in.
oh,
Yeah, beautiful little Victoria, British Columbia on the west coast of Canada.
all right. All right, next question to King Felix. Let's see.
hope you didn't kill anyone.
From Jason Conger, King Felix question: when facing JTR in Territory Wars, should I use non-Zeta Mother Talzin lead or Zeta Asajj lead as Night Sisters? As Night Sisters will counter JTR.
As long as you have Talzin's unique, you're gravy boat. I mean, you don't even really need it, but Talzin's unique will win that hands down. I'd say Asajj lead, but that's all good.
All right. Team Money, next question. Let's see.
You notice he always pauses before he gives me mine? He's looking for Star Wars lore?
No, I'm not. That's, I'm trying to figure out like what. Sometimes the questions that come in like they're not properly formatted. So if you see me pause, sometimes I'm like looking at like, what are they trying to say here? Oh, okay. Because I don't want to sit there and just be like the find in the. Go ahead.
So basically, you don't want to sound like Grande.
No, never, ever.
Okay.
All right, so this is from Stoner Jedi. Question: Isn't it kind of weird that our only legendary capital ship is the worst of the four now?
Oh yeah, I haven't thought about that. I don't think the Chimera is bad. I don't think that, all of a sudden, I don't think it's a bad ship. I think that people invested in it very quickly and are now having some regrets. And but I don't think it's a particularly bad ship. I honestly don't think that the capital ship matters a heck of a lot. I find with Mace, it's a little. My Mace is just not there at all. But with Mace, Mace is the only one that doesn't have some sort of offensive critical damage kind of boost. Maybe it does. I don't know. I just don't know that ship really well. But of the three that I use, Akbar, Tarkin, and Thrawn, I find that there's not a huge difference with regards to how hard my ships are hitting. It's how fast they are, because Tarkin is very slow. Thrawn is very slow. And that's, I think people are finding that can make a really big difference. This is kind of, we were never, I guess with the TIE Reaper, we were kind of in the era of like manipulating ship turn meter, but it's to a much greater extent now than it ever was. Sometimes my opposing ships don't get to go because my soldier is just tearing turn meter off of them left, right, and center. So it's a different game, a different dynamic. But I don't think Thrawn is terrible. I don't agree with that at all. But I think as far as synergy goes, there's some, the other ships are being brought back to life, which is exciting. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. Rather than Thrawn sucks, I think it's just like, ooh, Akbar rules, it's just kind of the other ones got brought up a bunch and probably, a notch more than Thrawn, but yeah, it's a legendary ship, so that's terrible. I didn't think about that.
I like how Akbar's kind of continued to be one of the most, utility toons.
True.
He's great in hat. His ships kind of did fade away, but it's back with real vigor now. It's yeah. I might reappraise and say that Akbar is the most undervalued toon at the moment.
You know, they I always like to draw imaginary conclusions between the Star Wars universe and the game, and how there's kind of these little nuances that that's a thread between both. And Lucas said at Celebration, I guess 2 years ago now, like, Rex is a character that he is timeless, and he will always be in the Star Wars universe, and you kind of see that in our game, right? And Akbar too. Like, Akbar has been there for a very, very long time in his kind of story arc thread, and yeah, absolutely, he's kind of the same way, isn't he? He's got a ship. He's got I'm working on I have Sunfac and Soldier to Gear 12. Oh my gosh. I'm working on Akbar right now. I'm like, what am I doing? But I really want to, I like ships.
That's why.
I want to have a boss. I want to have a boss ship squad.
All right.
And to clarify, Chimera's not ass. It's just not the best ship now. It's the worst of the four if you have them all maxed out. So it's just everyone's using Chimera. So when you're fighting Chimera versus Chimera, nobody sees the difference. But just get a maxed out AA, play it with the Geonosians and Rebels, and then give me your opinion.
There you go. All right, next question for Warrior. This is specifically for you, Warrior. This is from Rami Tituyo. I hope I said your last name right. Question for Warrior. You said that you have the most problems with Akbar-led Geonosians. What is he using as reinforcements? What are, in your opinion, the best reinforcements to run with Geonosians on defense?
So what I run, or what I think the person should run to be the best defensible team? It sounds like the best defensible team.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the lineup would be Admiral Akbar with the 3 Geonosians. That right there, and I had someone else telling me, oh, well, I bet you if you went against them with the Chimera, if it was the Chimera and 3 Geos, you wouldn't even win. And I was like, well, that's just stupid, because the Chimera is dumb with the Geonosians. There's no protection regeneration when they shoot out a turn, whereas with Akbar, they shoot out a turn all the time. That's what they do every turn. And so they have so much purple, you can't even hurt them, which is why they're so amazing. And their damage isn't huge, but they shoot 2-3 times every single time. So it's not about speed. It's about the fact that they're the most durable ships under Admiral Akbar, and that they just do a ton of damage. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. So the Geonosians would be your front 3, and then behind them, the very first ship that you would have behind is the Phantom 2, and then after that you would have the Ghost. Now I will tell you unequivocally for a fact, the computer programmers programmed those 2 ships to come in back to back, because if you put those in with 2 other like support ships, it always goes Phantom 2 and then that. If you put in any kind of tanky characters, you lose your synergy that you're looking for. So because of that, you have to put in Phantom 2, Ghost, and then you can put in Poe Dameron and Cassian U-Wing. Cassian's U-Wing and Phantom 2 can go in the last 2 slots, but because they're all support and attackers, you're going to get your Phantom 2, your Ghost out immediately thereafter, and it's devastating because there's 3 ships you can't shoot through, and they're getting constant protection back, doing tons of damage. They're chewing through your bigs. They can kill your bigs in their first turn. I'm not kidding. It happens to me all the time. It's like, are you kidding me? I just lost my tank, and I haven't even gone yet. Super frustrating. And Akbar is the fastest capital ship, so it's no joke. And then the backup. What happens is the Phantom 2 comes in and immediately allows for Akbar to bring in another in again. And so then the Ghost comes in, and now you're looking at 5 ships, and you have 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky, and you brought in a reinforcement. And it's just a numbers game. 5 against 3 sucks. I don't care if the ships are worse. It sucks. And they're shooting out a turn. And Phantom 2's special ability hits for 60k when it comes in, and that's not 100k, but that's still solid damage. And it a lot of times ends a ship's life. So It's a really good combination. Like I said, if you're the most overpowered ship team comp in the game, in my opinion, is Admiral Akbar, the 3GOs, Phantom 2 Ghost, Poe Dameron, and Cassian Z-Wing, and that I have a very difficult time beating. And I could use the same comp. The problem is I wanted to diversify and have a lot of different fun teams. I don't want to be pigeonholed into one meta, like everything else. And so I went into a lot of different ships. I tried to have fun. I went into Plo Koon's ship and Poe's ship and Phantom's ship and tried to do some Empire and some Rebels and some First Order. And unfortunately, that was cool, but now I have no maxed out ships in any way. So I had my synergies all over the board. I did exactly what I tell people not to do. But that's the ship comp I would use on defense if you want to not drop much. He proofs in the pudding. He's the only other Admiral Akbar lead other than me, and I don't drop out of the top 10, and he doesn't drop out of the top 6. Like, that means he gets bumped once, maybe twice, if that. And the guy that shares payout with me will take second every day because Down in My Plums has first every day, and I have to beat him, and the other guy can't beat him. So he's like, I'll take second, you can take first, because he wants me to have to fight the stupid Geonosians. But his stuff's all maxed. He was smart. He put all his reinforcements and all his Omegas in the 3 Geonosians, and then he put those 4 ships in the backup, and it's really tough.
All right, next question. Mike, this is from Jason Conger. Question: what team should I put my 3-star Gear 11 nest in for Territory Wars? JTR, PAL, First Order, CLS, and should it be offense or defense?
It's difficult to know with not knowing how good everything else is. The one that I hear is the best out of that would be to put it into these JTR squad. I don't know. Depends where he is guild level wise in Territory Wars. We're kind of pulling away from JTR defenses now because they don't seem to work so well. However, they're fantastic on offense. So by deduction, I would say in his JTR and on offense over defense. Maybe if he's got a Zeta Fin, maybe put a second resistance squad in place of JTR. Go that route.
All right, next question to King Felix. This is from Jedi Gunny _262. Question: my zombie's only 5 stars. Who is a good alt for Heroic Sith Raid for Night Sister team?
I'd probably say Talia. Yes. If you're but if you were using her already, Spirit kind of is. I mean, she doesn't get the stun in the raids because obviously they're raid bosses, but she does get some turn meter gain. And I don't know about the other 2 generic Night Sisters. I don't really use them. So if we have a Night Sister expert from Canada, hey.
Yes.
Was the question to trade out Acolyte?
No, if they don't have zombie 7 stars.
Oh, yeah. So I'm imagining that you don't have Spirit at 7 stars either. Lots of people are experimenting with Spirit right now. She cuts under armor and just a super interesting tanky fast tune. It's got the foresight up, and she's very. I really, she's on my list for sure. I think that you need zombie. You just kind of need to keep plugging away and farming her. Healers, Hermit Yoda. I've run him on that team before. I had Talia, and that was great. You can get some of the stacking offense bonuses if you are tricky and risky around letting your sisters die and reviving them with Daka. If your zombie dies, I don't know, 150 times in a match, you can let your sisters die 10, 20 times. So you can get part of that bonus that's being kind of added on to when the sides, the ads die as well, Sass and Sith Marauder. So that's what you need zombie there for, as well as to annihilate. So it just makes it a lot more tricky, a lot more finesse oriented. If you're in a guild that's not pushing through P4 super quickly, then you have lots of opportunity to kind of go in and retreat and get your very best score. It's just a lot more RNG dependent. You can be kind of spacing out and be like, here comes annihilate. Who's he gonna zombie? Yay! So you have to be a little bit more on it.
All right.
Go ahead, Mike. You have one?
Well, I was just the one that springs to mind, keeping the synergy in a bit as well, is a lot of people have got a 7-star initiate because she's canteen. Is she canteen? Oh, I forget where she is, but we get through one of the
War.
There you go. So if you've collected everyone else, it's like, okay, I'll do her as well. So she'll be really squishy, but 7-star, which means that she's going to die a lot. So she could be a stand-in for your zombie if you don't have a 7-star zombie. And like you say, if you don't have a 7-star zombie, chances are you don't have a 7-star spirit. But you probably do have a 7-star initiate. Try that one. And if you keep her low geared, she's just going to get muttered every time they do an AoE. She's going to go, and then you've just got to bring her back through old Dakar. So you're going to have a slower revive, but they're all chugging on. So yeah, that might be an option for you.
All right. Let's see. Next question goes to Team Money. It's from Nathaniel Miller. Where do you think the new solo tunes will go when they go free to play? My guess is Lando in L3 in Fleet Table, Chewie in Cantina, Han in Light Side Hard Node, and Ness in Dark Side Hard Node.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's a good call. I don't know. They might be Cantina tunes.
Possibly, but I doubt it.
I don't know if they're definitely L3 and Lando in the ship's table.
I think a lot of them are going to go to the ship's table in some form of capacity because they're going to have characters, maybe, when they introduce it, to be interested in doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it feels like we've had this waterfall of characters, and it just feels natural that they would go into the ship's table. I think that Nest will definitely be a hard node. There's just no question there. And then I'm just thinking, Kira, Han, Chewie. I don't know. I'm waiting for someone to figure out the utility of these guys, and I think once they do, they'll become a lot more attractive. Again, I think we were talking last week about how the rollout feels very kind of Phoenix-esque. So there's like this big question mark, like, why are we getting all these tunes? There's 6. Why are we getting these 6 tunes right now? Like, this is weird. And then all will be revealed soon, perhaps. A legendary character, perhaps, or something. So I would like to see them accessible, like the Phoenix are accessible. But I think that Nest, if any of them will certainly be a hard node. I don't know. I mean, who's gonna farm Krennic on a hard node? I'm doing that right now. But who's gonna farm young Han on a hard node? I don't know. Ships sounds great. I don't think everything in ships has to have a ship.
All right.
Ships are in dark side and light side, so why can't regular tunes be in ships? Hopefully.
All right. Next question for Warrior from our good boy Grim, our good old pal Grim. Question for Warrior: have you tried the new Lando out at Gear 12 with the double bayonet? How is his damage output with them?
Lando's actually my favorite attacker on that team. because he's got this variable ability on his basic, and it's kind of because he's a gambler, so a lot of his abilities had kind of a gambler-esque feel to them, like. It's like 50% of the time. So it's like, it's a gamble. And so sometimes, he hits and it's like 12 grand and you're like, man. And other times he hits on his basic for 27K and you're like, what? And so he's kind of a surprise. And talking to the developers, I was in Hollywood for EA Play, and we were talking to them and we said, they feel like a Phoenix 2.0. And they actually said that's exactly what we built them to be like. So with that in mind, knowing their mindset was to make them good, not great, they basically built a team that you can get a solid, 1 to 2 million in the Sith raid, and you can use them on territory wars as just like a fluffy defensive team that's annoying. That you got to send something in that's strong enough to beat them, but then you've wasted a good counter. Just like T-Money was saying, that's the whole point of that. It's not necessarily about having a team that's defensive. It's about making them lose the counter for the next round or 2 rounds down the road. And so if you can force them to use a certain team comp to win, then they don't have that anymore, and you can then build a team that needed that counter down the road. And so it's a really good territory war defensive team, because it forces. It's like, no joke. If you go against them, you've got 5 minutes. That team's hard to beat in 5 minutes with the most overpowered, triumvirate team. So, you have to hit auto, and you do it in 3.5 minutes. It still takes a lot of time. So it's a great territory war team, and I think that's what is going to be fleshed out over time. Is it's solid for territory battles, it's solid for a couple million in the raids, and then it's going to be solid for a defensive team on territory wars, freeing up a JTR team or freeing up an Emperor Palpatine team or something like that, so you have more offensive tools in your toolbox for the territory war.
All right. Next question back to the top to Mike. Let's see. This is from JLY9. Question: what is a counter meta arena team to defeat a Palp-led Traya, Scion, Nihilus, and Sith Trooper squad?
Palpably. Good question. The one that leaps to mind is Rex Mother Wampa. It depends whether you want to sacrifice your Wampa. No, not your Wampa. You're not your Mother Talzin, because you're pulling her out of your Night Sister squad to do so. There's other options. You could try with an IPD, just to try and slow them down. Rex Wampa IPD. The other one is isn't it Rolo? I think there's a Rolo squad, Rolo Rebels.
I can't remember what we're talking about.
It doesn't work as well. It doesn't work as well. Rolo gives, the foresight up and stuff like that. So Rolo's okay, but it's not as good as people say. Rex is really the answer to all metas. If you're having trouble, have a Rex. But for specifically this composition with the double tank, you're going to need either like Enfys Nest or CLS or someone that can kind of help, that can hit whoever, because you're going to get stuck behind Scion, and you're going to need or Short Trooper, or I mean not Short Trooper, but Sith Trooper. And so if you get characters that can target whoever, whenever, those are the characters that are really going to help you in a double tank situation. So I would say for the double tank triumvirate team, Rex is the counter to EP, and Mother Talzin is the counter to the triumvirate. So Rex, Mother Talzin. If you have Wampa or Enfys Nest, make sure she has her Zeta, and then CLS, and then Darth Nihilus. If you've got Rex, you're going to go first. Your Darth Nihilus is going to go first. Increase cooldowns, and it's a snowball from there for you. So.
Sorry, I just sprung to mind. I'm thinking that's basically what the arena squads are, isn't it? The one that I keep seeing, and I haven't really looked at them too much, is Zeta Finn squads, probably with Nest in there as well.
You have to go with Nest for that one.
Yeah, but that's,
So-
You can do it without Nest, but
It doesn't work out well. So essentially,
You have to
with
be
the
really
Zeta
careful.
Finn, you want to try and get Enfys really fast. So she does the AoE days. Now, when Treya's turn comes up, she's going to dispel. Whenever any of the characters turn, because of Treya, they're going to dispel the days. But the days still last until the start of their turn. So you can keep the days up. They won't gain any turn meter. And so when your Poe goes next, hopefully, your Poe does a taunt and does turn meter removal from most of the team. And now your resistance team has the turn meter advantage. And if you can get that expose going with Poe, then you can start just wrecking things. But if your Enfys is a little bit too slow and she doesn't get that days up, then the opposition is just going to start going like crazy again, and you're going to just fall.
All right. Let's see. I think that is okay. We have one more question from Stunner Jedi for Warrior. Question for Warrior: what is your favorite solo team lineup and why?
I don't have a favorite solo team lineup, but I mean, I guess if you were going to do it, you would need Kira as the lead. You would have to run Enfys Nest because of her kit, which sucks because then you have to choose between, Lando or Han for the damage, and Han's more consistent, so I would use Han, but Lando, I like his kit better, but I would just, for consistency, go with Han and then Chewie for the regeneration, and then L337. So you got 2 tanks, a leader who's an attacker, and then an attacker, and then another attacker. So 3 attackers and 2 tanks. And that's a pretty decent composition, actually. So
All right.
that's what I would do.
All right, I think that's all the questions. Now I have some fun questions for everybody. It seems apparently that Mike has a lot of questions, even though he's on the damn panel.
It's liberating, Mike, because I also always have questions. So
Yeah, well, Warrior has the access to tunes that we don't. So my question was to Warrior, which was, have you invested in any of the scoundrels? Oh, it's not that one, is it? No, it's the recipes for porg and maple syrup.
Well, that was for Finn.
that's
So
my question.
yeah, there's the 2 questions. Yeah. So for Mike has a
Yeah.
question for Warrior. Have you invested in any of the schedules, and if so, which?
The only one of all the dark side or light side scoundrels that I did anything on was Enfys Nest, and I did a video on it. But yeah, that's the only one. All the rest, I'm gonna slow free to play farm just like everybody else.
See, I went in on 3 of them. So I got Vandor, Young Han, and Enfys, and I'm looking at it thinking I need Kira and L3 to give me a decent chance at anything.
L3 complete that, and once you have those 5 specifically, you're gonna love the team for sure. It's definitely a solid team, but I don't know, they're just so expensive.
They are.
Yeah. No, it was I went in on 3, and then it was like another 3. Are you kidding me? But yeah.
So, Team
Thank
Money,
you.
Mike's other question is best pork and maple syrup recipe, eh? I mean, it's for Finn, but I think the maple syrup expert is you. So, well, what do you think for Finn is the best recipe with maple syrup, eh?
Well, I'm going to counter this with a fun fact that the porgs were actually designed to cover up tufted puffins who were like all over that island, and they're like, ugh, we have to either we can't kick these birds out because it's not nice, and I'm sure that would not be good PR for them, so they just covered them up with porgs. Isn't that adorable?
That doesn't answer the question about how you cook a pork and with the best way with maple syrup.
The question didn't ask for how to cook a pork, just so you know.
Well,
So the
okay,
best recipe
best
is
pork and
for
maple. Okay,
syrup
so you
on
want to
top
have
of
raw
pancakes.
pork, Finn?
No. So what you do is you put the maple syrup on pancakes, and you sit next to your porg at the dinner table, and you both eat the pancakes together.
That's
That
not right.
sounds
No,
Way
like
that's
to
wrong.
celebrate both porgs and
Good
maples.
time.
That's a
I'm
good
sorry,
thing,
I
'cause-
obviously
I'm going to say that's wrong.
I phrased the question wrong. It was intentionally
Too bad.
No.
cooking
You want
porgs with maple syrup.
you want the pork to eat the maple syrup first, so that it's nice and sweet for when you bark.
Ah, like corn-fed chicken.
Exactly.
Ah, gotcha. Oh yeah.
You gotta smoke them. You gotta smoke them for a while.
All are
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. You got to add that glaze, right?
Oh yeah.
You could do it. You could do it like the they do to. What's that pate? The
I
one that
think we have
everyone
more
frowns
questions,
upon.
Ranger.
No, this is fascinating.
What's the pate that or whatever that everyone frowns upon because it's inhumane to the bird that they force feed?
Farm salmon.
Goose.
Goose. That's
Farm
it. Goose,
salmon. You should talk
goose
about farm
liver.
salmon.
Yeah, so we could do that with porgs, couldn't
Yeah, we
we? And
could.
maple syrup.
Let's talk about farm salmon.
I have a feeling
Inject
just
them
from
so their
looking at a
eyeballs
porg,
bulge.
you wouldn't have to force maple syrup down their throat. They look like, to me, like a kindred spirit.
Yeah, but it'd be quite funny. It'd be kind of like, inflating a frog sort of thing. Like, boop.
We have other questions.
Okay, Finn. All right.
Poor Finn.
Finn has a conniption.
You have your Kleenex there, sweetie?
Oh, poor little guy.
He's not that excited, is he?
Grand Admiral of the Republic says, question, Ranger, I was wondering, how does it feel repetitively to have Dr. Finn, your heterosexual life partner, away off to weddings for extended periods of time? Is everything okay? Or is Finn not really away, or is there trouble? You can tell us. We're all big boys. By the way, I love how you two actually bicker like an old married couple. No, Dr. Finn is a busy guy, with weddings and more weddings. And Jesus Christ, how many cousins you got getting married here recently? Would
It's all a cover.
Would you say
It's all a cover because Ranger doesn't appreciate me. He always blames me for everything. So
Well,
every now and
that's
then
true.
I get away.
That's science, Finn. You cannot argue with science, in fact.
That's why I run away.
The truth hurts.
And that's why I have my pork. Which for some reason you're trying to cook, and I don't know why.
Well, you keep that pork. I'll just eat all the other ones.
Well, at least I have my one. Okay,
Yeah.
we found a compromise.
So Finn gets to keep his one, and we can eat all the other porks. You heard it here first. So get that maple syrup ready, Team Money.
I bet you they're cannibals.
Yeah, I bet they eat each other, too.
Now, do they lay eggs, or are they mammals? That's the real question.
I think they're birds, so they lay eggs. Because we
Or
saw
are
the
they
nest.
are they marsupials? Do they have a little pouch?
Yeah, I don't think they're in the duckbill platypus category.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
All right, so the next question is Bjorn Radiger. Question: are you all watching the World Cup? Who are you for? I'm watching it, but I don't have a dog in the fight, so I could care less.
It's baseball season. Go Mariners.
Yeah, go Astros.
Ha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rooting for Argentina just because Messi is my favorite player. So and the U.S. isn't in it.
Yeah.
England first, and then Saudi Arabia is going to amaze everyone and go through to the next round after losing 5-0 in their opening game.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I think they're going to lose 5-0 the next two matches.
Oh, you got South Korea, haven't you, in the sweepstake? Ooh.
Well,
and maybe
who was
South
that?
Korea.
Who are you talking to?
Mother of swearies.
Oh, God. Didn't I tell you to warn us when you were there if they came in the area? Oh, God.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to say.
Yeah, that's why.
Sweary alert. Alert. Yeah, that's a new word for alert. Oh, my God. Here she is.
No. Mute. No.
Hi, Sweary!
No, Christ.
Everyone's saying
God.
hi.
Think of the children.
Mute it.
Oh,
Mute it.
my God.
I know
Think
what
of
you're
the
about
children.
to do, Mike.
Oh, Jesus.
You're about to call her swear.
No.
I didn't
such a
see
clean
that.
show.
She just
You
You looked at me, you gave me the eye contact, and you said, "Do it."
No, I didn't say.
it.
I didn't say.
Michael.
I didn't say a word.
Well, the cat's out of the bag. Mike's over there poking the bear.
Jog on.
All right. So next
6
question.
feet down the bar.
What? So the next question for Durgan for Team Money. Did people eat a lot of beaver up there in Canada? Do they?
Not that I know of.
I don't think
do
this
not.
is the 19th century where fur trapping was a thing.
I don't like. There's a lot of. I mean, people hunt for a wide variety of animals up here.
beaver's
I
not
don't
one,
know
right?
about beaver. I don't know a lot about beaver. I can look it up and get back to you. Do you guys have hunting raffles? You must have hunting raffles in the States, hey? You have like 4 deer to kill or something now?
I think it's like I think your license entitles you to
a certain number depending on the county and the state. And
so tell you,
it also
and tell you whether whether it's what kind, whether it's male, female, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they'll also will hire hunters to eradicate any type of or control invasive species depending on the area.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly it's like wild pigs because they just overrun whatever area they're in. And so they'll hire people to come in there and go and shoot 20 pigs, and then we'll feed them to they give them to shelters a lot, like homeless shelters and soup kitchens.
Yeah.
Pig delivery.
Mm-hmm. Wild pig is good.
All right, next question is from Revenator. Question: what is the step-by-step process for becoming as big of a deal as Grande? Is there a certain number of chickens I need to catch first, etc.? Ben, what do you think?
Finn's BRB.
Oh, is he? I mean, Grande's just a big deal naturally. I don't think there's a step-by-step process that you can just take to follow in his footsteps. So,
surely the first step must be pronouncing everyone's names wrong.
I mean, yeah.
Yes. Stop reading for 3 years. Anything. Not street signs, not menus. Just don't look at any written word. Try to forget as much as possible.
Walk at least 15 feet away from the mic before you have something to say.
And take a deep breath.
Lots of tacos.
Lots of tacos.
Right. Let's see. Vesra Kai question. This is the last fun one. Thoughts on Wolfpack versus BHD AAA round 2?
Mike and I are being nice to each other.
It happened.
It happened.
Rewards were paid out. What more can we say? Actually, I timed out just before I annihilated one of their triumvirate squads. They were lucky there.
It's true. Close. If you had had that one, Mike.
Yeah. That only left 7 more.
All right. That is all the time for questions today. So now we're going to let everybody go around and pimp their stuff. We'll start off with Warrior. Warrior, what's going on with your life? What's going on with
not a whole lot. I am, I believe, nearing the end of my roster reviews. I have 1 month left of roster reviews. If somebody signs up, I will give them one, but I'm not doing like supplementary or second or thirds. I'm actually moving to one-on-one mentorship with all my patrons. So I'm hoping that in a month I'll be down to only doing like maybe 1 roster review a week. And with that comes more time, and with more time comes more content on my main channel and more time to spend actually doing quality edits, so I can have a little bit more fun with doing intros and things like that. So I'm really excited about the evolution of that. Obviously, if people want to become patrons and get roster reviews and all of that, I want to continue to honor that. But I do want to kind of evolve slowly away from that because of the time consumption and move more towards quality content for my main channel. Of course, you can find me on Twitter. I talk daily there with individuals, so you have access to me there at Warrior Present. And then, of course, I have 2 YouTube channels, Warrior Presents, and then the other one's Warriors Roster Reviews. They're linked together. So pretty easy to find me in those. I also am on the Facebook page, which is Facebook groups, and it's Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. There's 60,000 people there, and I'm on there daily. So if you have questions, that's a good group as well.
All right. Steven and GA.
Hey, yeah. Well, I'm just about to hit send on a video right now. I'm just stressing out over the title of it, but I'm really happy with it. It's one on Nest, and I think the highlight of it is showing Nest taking out a Traya team without them taking a turn. So that's it's kind of in there in the middle, bracketed by some a review of the character and how she's modded, and then delving into the nerdy side of her bonus protection and how she needs to be modded differently at 4 stars than she does at 7 and gear 12. So gonna release that today. I'm excited about that. We've been working on that for a while on my channel, which is a good old Marisa and my channel called Operation Metaverse. METAVERSE. You can find that on YouTube. On Thursday nights, we have a stream with Grand Admiral Teals and Darth Bub called the League of Extraordinary Nerf Herders, and that is an 18 and over stream. It's very, very silly, probably even more silly than RSG Mature, which I'm on tonight as a regular. Pardon me?
Well, I don't know about that. I think they're on par with each other.
You think they're on par with each other?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
They're both ridiculous. I was just saying that it's RSG is just a little bit more classy than the Nerf Herders. The Nerf Herders are awful sometimes. But yeah, so there's that. You know, it's those are little kind of like families, and we hang out with folks there, and there's lots of love and fun and laughter. On here Sunday morning or Saturday mornings. And where else am I? I feel like there's no one more place. I just want to plug the charity stream. We're going to be League of I don't know if the league is going to be on. Good old Maurice is going to be on the charity stream. I'm going to be on with the Angels, and I don't know if in another capacity, which is June 24th, all day long. Is it 8 to 8, Ranger?
Yes, it is.
8 to 8 Eastern Standard Time, AM to PM. And there's a link on the RSG homepage where you can, it's like the live stream is kind of waiting to launch. But there's a PayPal underneath there. We can go and donate. And the Angels have put together, we're putting together a party for anyone that donates under $20. So it's like a donor thank you party that we're going to have in a server. We're going to host, and we're going to do lots of fun things, and maybe some game stuff too. Remodding arena teams, roster reviews, basically anything you want. So that's one of the ways that we're contributing to that. So go and donate before it's too late.
Yeah. Wargo, what was your question, man? Just post it in right now. He says, still missed my question. It's like Dr. Finn has failed us horribly.
He didn't write question. I just checked the log.
He didn't.
He didn't start it with question if he wrote it.
And does it have to be with a capital Q and a colon?
No.
No,
just any Q. Any old Q.
So what was the question, Dr. Finn?
No, it's not in there.
Oh, it's not in there at all, period.
Who says we eat a lot of beaver in Canada? Is that the question?
I saw that.
He might have asked a question, but he didn't start it with question in order for it to get tagged.
Oh. Well,
yes, he did, says he.
Or you
he said,
told
yeah,
us.
he did.
As Arena becomes stale with Traya as it is with no. Or you no, I'm not seeing it.
It's for you, Mike. You should know.
That was a question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Wargo, just retype it right now.
Yeah, just post it in right now.
Stop making Canadians look like whiners. Hurry up.
Yeah. Good.
Nobody else has ever done that.
That's my question.
Free coffees?
You shush, King Peanut.
Caramel macchiato, mate. That's my favourite, if that's the question.
Me too. Too many carbs, though.
Question is for Mike. Yes, we can understand that, Wargo.
I think you could have typed the question by now.
Way to represent.
For fuck's sake, you're wasting.
Question is for Mike. Question is
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Mike.
what else? Yeah.
I'll kill you,
Did I?
Is he trolling us?
Okay, now I'm impressed.
I know. It's 42.
I'm waiting to see what this goddamn question is. SWGOH, what is the question? Put it in right now. I want to see the question.
Life, the universe, and everything. 42, mate. That's the
Completely
answer.
forgets what the question is, and he's trying to stall until he
Have
remembers.
you figured out how to sync your alt and main account and SWGOH.gg on same phone?
Have you figured that out, Mike?
Have I figured out what?
How to sync your alt and your main on your phone?
Yes, I sync my main on my phone and my alt on my iPad.
So can't do it on the same device?
You probably can. It's just going to be a bit pitter that you're going to have to log out and log back in. But run it onto. I mean, if you. Oh wow, you're doing that on your alt. You're logging out and logging in. That's too much login, mate. That's way too much. Get a second device.
On Android, it's so easy. It's just like sign out, click the email that you want, sign back in. On Mac, it's just like a huge deal. It's a huge, huge deal. It's a pain in the butt.
I'm Apple.
Devices, SWGOH.
Yeah.
Devices.
All right.
Two devices.
Steal your daughter's tablet. That's what I'd do.
Yep, and then she doesn't have a tablet anymore. Go away, Daddy's playing.
All right. Go ahead and let's finish up our pimping and get out of here. Mike, where can folks check you out at?
I've got a YouTube channel, Mike Hunt or SWGOH. Been a bit remiss this week. I've recorded loads. I just haven't processed and uploaded them. But I've got a few bits. So tried and failed with a scoundrel squad in Sith Raid and in the heroic tank. It's funky the way that Van Dorn just pops back whoever it is that. I mean, literally, they're dead and back in a blink of an eye, which is a fun mechanic. I'm liking the fact that as soon as you've got preparation on young Han, he just hits everything constantly. So yeah, I'm working around that. Hence my question to Warrior earlier. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for having me.
That's right. And King Felix, of course, we're glad to have you back in the States, bro.
Glad to be back.
All right. And now, if you're watching this is the Jedi Academy, we do this every Saturday as many times as we can. Well, holidays come around here and there and things happen, but for the most part, we have Jedi Academy every week. So that being said, tonight we've got a lot of stuff coming up on the channel. Best way for you to know about the channel is to subscribe, and not just to us, but all these other wonderful YouTubers, Game Changers, etc. that come on here. They take the time out of their busy schedule to be here to answer your questions. So it behooves you not just to support us by liking and subscribing the videos and subscribing to the channels, but doing the same thing for them. Check out their content. We always love comments, as long as they're constructive comments. Ask Clowns will be deleted. Just putting that out there. But we appreciate everybody's support. We have a lot of other stuff coming up. So tonight, of course, we'll do our late night stream where we just kind of sit around, drink, fart around, have a good time, spend a couple hours just kind of BSing. It's kind of a chance for you guys to hang out with us and us to hang out with you. It's an informal show where basically we have fun. We do some Mad Libs. If you want to hang out with us on Skype, you're more than welcome to, or you can just hang out and chat and watch. It's up to you. We leave it wide open and unambiguous in what you can do. See, and then upcoming stuff. We've got the D&D stuff we're trying to put together. I'm going to be working with Finn after this to figure out what we're doing. We've got the
D&D stuff?
D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, T-Money. I
Cool.
know that's I know in Canada they don't have that. So
They sure do. I've never played. I want to play. Let me play with you. Phrasing. Sorry, go ahead.
I am not your toy too. You have to ask Finn. It's okay with me, but you have to get his permission first.
Okay.
Finn, is it alright if T-Money joins the D&D campaign?
No.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, T-Money. You've been overruled by the Dr. Finn Medicine Woman.
You can't be hating on porgs the entire time and then ask to join the
Oh,
D&D.
you know what?
It don't work that way.
Did not hate on porgs the
You just get-
entire
Oh
time.
yeah, yes you did. You were trying to glaze them and fill them up.
No,
with
that
maple
was me.
syrup
She
anyway.
just wanted to add maple syrup.
God, you go back
That
and
was
listen.
me.
Yeah.
You all were. I hate you all.
No.
Oh, I definitely was not.
Except
me. I
Warrior.
was
Warrior was
respecting-
the only one that didn't contribute to the pork.
That's
I was
because he's busy doing
respecting
other things. You could care less.
And I
I'll
appreciate it.
barbecue this weekend. I don't care. I'll put a picture in the RSG stream
Do
or
it.
Discord for you.
Do it. But we've got the big thing is so working on that. We've got the charity stream coming up next Sunday, guys. We're going to start getting the finalization on everything, but it's going to be a 12-hour stream. Basically, we're going to go nonstop. We're going to have it set up. We're going to have all kinds of special guests, giveaways, things of that nature. We're going to try to raise as much money as we can for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. The link is in the description. It's been posted here a couple times. The link to donate is already up, so if you want to donate, you can. It will automatically put your name for the games and stuff that we have that we will be giving away. And we got a lot of stuff that we're going to be giving away, but it's all about raising as much money we can and bringing awareness to suicide prevention. Recently, there's been a lot of slew of suicide and stuff like that, and we just want to do our part. You know, Stanley Red gets a lot of credit. This is his baby. He kind of came up with the idea, and we kind of been rocking and roll with it ever since putting it together. And so we'll be working on that. And then, of course, the rest of the week, Monday through Friday, we have the lunch stream from 12 to 1, where we do roster reviews. We answer your questions. We have fun things like Story Daughter Tuesday, things like that. Wednesday, we have our regular show, 8 p.m. to whenever we get done breaking down the latest and greatest of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes news and what it all means. And in between, we're doing Battlefront. We're doing all kinds. Finn, we are busy folks, Finn.
Yes.
Oh, get over the fact that we want to eat porgs. God, dog, Finn, I swear.
No.
You're like a child. Like a damn child, swear.
Yes.
I googled it. It's foie gras for goose liver, so it's foie, which is why I've just put foie pork in the chat.
But thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for any donations that were given. If you'd like to donate, you can. You can go to the super chat function while we're streaming live, or you can become a sponsor in the upper right. And always, you can go to our homepage and you can hit support the channel. All donations and proceeds are used to make the channel better. That's what we do for it. Anytime we get any kind of money, that's pretty much what it's for. Someday we'll get to hookers and blow status, but we ain't even close. So, we'll leave it at that. Did I miss anything, Dr. Finn? I think I covered all the mechanisms, right?
Yes.
All right. So on behalf of myself and our wonderful guests and panel, thank you for being on. I'm not gonna do any Battlefronts today until tonight when we do the mature stream. So we got that. There's a lot of stuff I want to get done today. So, but if you do have questions, come to our Discord, guys. It's got 1,000 people. It's if we didn't get your question for some reason, or if you have a question, just come to our Discord. Great community of folks that's there to help with your Star Wars Galaxy Heroes questions and answers and everything. It's amazing. We hardly ever get to say anything because questions asked, 40, 50 people have already responded. So it's really amazing. So thank you everybody for being here. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we will holler at you later. Peace.